Yeah. We're gonna call this one the night side of the tree of life. Today's a special day. Today's my born day. So you can see the sun. Let me get some of that. I love when it comes down on me like that. You see? It's beautiful. Well, let's get into the subject matter. You know, we're gonna talk about the night side of the tree. The tree of life itself. What's that? You know, being that today is my born day, you know, it's like you get to revisit life all over again. Today is special for me because I was in the bosom for 3 years. And after you finish, you know when you finish because everything repeats itself. It slows down. It's not too much exciting. You're not scared no more. So that's when you know your journey is just about over and you're returning. So everything is like different to me now. It's so weird when I tell you it's different to me. Like my neighbor be telling me sometime when I watch them argue, like between, spouses or whatever, or even them scolding their child, I'll be there with my mouth open, like just surprised, like a big surprise look. And it's like I just came back and I'm re-seeing everything. But to me, I'm analyzing it from a whole different perspective now. It's like I don't see the action, I see the nature of the action. And it's so amazing now. And that's the thing with this, being the born day and you coming back. What's the difference? And most of us, my whole life, I've had born days. Everybody have them. But what do they mean? Well, to me, I wouldn't know until I explained coming out the bosom. And it's a very real statement. Life is different now for me. You would think, oh, ascending and ascension, he's gonna fly, he's gonna turn into a higher being. And now it's way different. It's like now that I've journeyed so much that things is being repetitious in a way that I understand it. It's like you get to realize the journey of being to the higher self is uniting yourself, not just with your higher self, but also with your lower self. It's like you become instinctual in nature with the different personalities and demeanors you have and attitudes you have, which is all a part of you. And those parts is what used to be like splits, ego splits, personality splits that cause energy blockages. So by integrating all these different splits and personalities, it's like you got you from your past life, you from the past life, you from the past life, and a whole bunch of karmatic experiences that ties your soul to do some habitual things. And when you break all of these habits, it's like we use that term, as a Gnostic, you're full. You're full through the eyes of the Lord. You don't have no desires for anything, and you're good. You're stable. That's important because that's when you could use it as a measurement tool, a reference point to see if you are all the way all right or you still chasing your desires. All our desires is the demons that's inside of us. When we're talking about this, we're talking about the 72 demons of the goatee of Solomon itself, the whole key of Solomon. It's a story about you the temple. So this temple was built by demons. He captured every single one and sealed it in a canister. The seal that we're talking about is your subconscious. And when you actually realize your subconscious is dark space itself, you realize that you're one with the universe, the cosmos, and you came out of the cosmos to create. And that what you created is what's called your conscious self. You consciously took chaos. That's why they call us chaos gods, and made something organized out of it. Now, in it, it got many dimensions and frequencies in it, but you yourself is the cause of your own creation. And once you understand that, you realize that these spirits that hover on us, these pleasures, these desires, is literally the compulsiveness that's inside of us that give us our will to survive, not our will to do what's right or wrong, because you could be in a world where right is wrong and wrong is right. It depends. Everything parallels. So first you got to learn. And the first stages to learning is actually being able to stop doing, stop thinking, so that you got control. Once you're able to control your actions, control your thoughts, control your reactions, you're able then to create. And so that's the lessons of being in the bosom. You learn these things that actually is subtle. You're not the look in the sky and you're gonna see a big demon, not the Jesus is coming or God is coming. Those is externalized thoughts. And thoughts is what you live in, somebody's thought. Everything here is created from God's thought first with natural nature to every object that was constructed on it was man thoughts. And so once you realize your own thoughts is what you think and how you perceive this world that creates your reality. By breaking it and having none, you're not going to change your reality, but you do change your reality. It's a perception. Look at it like you have many possibilities, many bodies, quantum physics, but the anchor to it is something like without air, you would die. If you hold your breath, you would die. That's the anchor. So your body is also the anchor to the soul, the ethereal body, and many, many dimensions of yourself. And so if you look at that body as just the anchor, you will get to understand this is its own being. You know, my point is this. We are the ones that have to first wake up to what's going on and actually say, I'm the cause and the reason why I chase these things and can't see. I'm saying it in this sense and not putting blame on nobody, but at the same time I am, because what we're trying to see is blinding us from seeing. By you not trying to see, you will see. And that's what it's all about. With Solomon being able to trap the demons into the canister, which is your subconscious, and seal it in there, you was able then to only have the conscious side of you there. And being that it was only the conscious side, you was no duality, you was able to create. And what you created was this reality that you're in. You understand? So once you created it, we sat in it and rested in it, and it became a comfort zone. Anything outside of this reality scares us. We don't want to know it. We don't agree with it. It's natural instincts built inside of us. But creation itself is constantly changing and evolving. If we can't change and evolve, we'll get caught in a process of dissolution. It's like turning a tree turned petrified into a stone and then into a gem and then, crystals and so forth. It's what will happen to us if we don't change. Human beings have the ability to change. Your skin calcify, you get dry, you get moist. So it constantly has the ability to change, but we don't notice these subtle differences. So it's important to understand the theory of Solomon's seal and Solomon's goatee story, because you're the seven-headed dragon. You're Hercules and you have to kill yourself, the seven-headed dragon of ignorance, pride, lust. And once you do that, you'll be able to have nothing inside of you which will make you be able to focus on you. Not saying you the self, but actually have your own thoughts, not somebody's belief system or what you think. So what is it like now today for me? Because you see, it's like I got an overlay inside of me. It's an overlay in my eyes. It's like I got an aquarium floating around in my eyeballs. It's the it's what made the difference today now that I see. And this overlay is like a overlay of a digital tone. It has a digital tone to it. Meaning if I look at something, it acts upon it in ways that show me either more about it, or it actually unite with it, or it give me options on healing. It also is another world that I travel into. So now, what started off as not seeing anything became blurs and blobs and lights. Now it's cells all over, floating around, cells that form dragons, snakes, kundalini, beings, everybody. I got them floating all around like if I got mad cells just all in my vision. So that's the difference. And with that now, it's like you check in every night. Every night when you're going to sleep, that's what the tree of life is about. You know, I'm gonna get into that in a second. I'm just breaking down the fundamentals right now. You know, before I go to sleep, it's like a tunnel opens up through your eyes, or your third eye opens. You can see it's not your eyes, it's your third eye. How you know you cover your eyes and you're still seeing. No matter what you do, you can't do nothing. Wear blindfold, you still can see. So it's your third eye opening. And it opens like a funnel. And you go through every night and you wake up every morning and come out of it. So whatever you're doing, it's in the subconscious world. And it's unknown to you unless you're conscious about it. Now it's kind of hard, right? Because most of us is trying meditation and trying astral projection and finding that we fall asleep in it. That's fine. You know, that don't mean you didn't accomplish it. You're just not aware of what you do. Because you gotta understand, your purpose here in life is that you're already a higher being. You don't have nothing to do with what goes on up there. There's nothing for you to do as far as that. Because your soul is actually the real puppet master, and you're just the anchor, like I said, holding everything together. So it's already doing what it's supposed to do. What your job is to be conscious of what your soul is doing. And by you being conscious of what your soul is doing, that's called ascension, immortality, because now the physical body has the full memory of his past life instead of it coming here not knowing its purpose, what to do, and being tricked. That's what's called a mystic. A mystic take these journeys, or a shaman take these journeys, and they become whole again. Whole meaning they can't die and they're conscious of death, always conscious. You can never lose your consciousness. That's Kundalini. She is your consciousness. So um, now with all of that going on, you got to realize that that's your sole purpose. First of all, is to make this journey that you're conscious of what's going on up there with your soul. So when you meditate and you fall asleep, all that means is that you're tired. Your body is tired. It's not a recorder at that moment. It's a recording always. Even if I was to knock you out or you get knocked out, you still have memory of everything that's taken place. So what happens when we go to sleep in our meditation and an astral projection is the body need more rest. I would suggest take a nap during the day. Don't do it all the time, because what will happen is you astral project every time you go to sleep. And if you astral project a lot in the daytime, this is for the unconscious people that it just suddenly happened while they're in the day. More than likely, when you go to consciously astral project at night, it's not going to work because your soul is already out drifting off someplace. So it's good. Let me keep it in context. If you're falling asleep all the time doing astral projection, rest the body, sleep it out. You need to take some time out and rest. Your attention is not there anyway. So if you was to slow down from work, whatever you're doing, even watching TV, sometimes you could be dead tired and you don't do nothing more than sit all day home and chill and watch TV and don't know you haven't slept in a long time and the body needs some sleep. Once you're able to phantom your sleep or master it and you're good. You know how you know you're not tired? When you go into meditation or astral projection and you don't fall asleep. You're ready now. You're aware now. You're ready to go on a journey that's smoky, cloudy, mystery, a question mark. Your awareness is 100%. If you didn't do it that way, it would be like you actually trying to go into a show, a movie theater to watch a movie, but you're dead tired. You're dead sleeping. So that's what happens. You know, you fall asleep during the movie. But it's an interactive 3D movie that you have to do certain codes, certain symbols, certain gestures to actually keep the journey going. So the journey never continued. It just stood there in a loop until you actually know what to do, what buttons to press to make the next thing happen. It just renders you there. No matter, even if you was to be doing your meditation right, if you're going, you're going to get stuck at a point. Eventually, you're going to reach a stop point. And then when you're there, everything keeps repeating over and over. You go back, it's going to be the same stuff until you pass what they're trying to teach you. And once you press that right button, the right expression, or you got what the lesson they're trying to teach you, then it changed. So that's how it works. I hope this makes sense to you, because a lot of us tend to fall asleep and astral project, and it becomes a dream to us. That's normal. That's mundane. I'm not disrespecting it. No, don't let me say that right like that. That's the normal way. I'm not gonna say that's mundane. All right. The reason why it's kind of weird, all right, and it can be considered kind of mundane. I gotta set this straight because my name is the Confessor of the Truth. So, all right, we don't dream. Like, higher beings don't dream. You're not supposed to ever dream. I haven't had a dream in 6, 7 years. You never hear me come on here and tell you I had a dream. I don't dream. Dreaming is a red flag for me. If I dream, I know it's an entity projecting something into me. My thoughts is taking me somewhere. I break it. I've been in dreams. From back in the days, they stopped playing those type of little psychic games with me, because once I realized it, I slept. I never slept until I was probably 37, scared of my dreams, scared to sleep. So after a while, I started sleeping in the daytime, taking them naps like I'm telling you about. I started hearing the TV on. I could hear people walking around, hear everything, but I'm not awake. I'm asleep or stuck in my body. Like, what the fuck is this? And so I can't move or whatever, but eventually I would doze back off and pop up places, real-time places. And I'm like, how the hell did I get here? And so I started, back then when I used to dream, I started saying, this is not real, this is a dream. And my dream would collapse, the walls would drop, everything would drop. And so I first started learning that. Then once when the wall collapsed, I was like, yo, let me go see what my uncle doing. And I'll be right there. 2 minutes later, I doze off and I'm there. Then I'll be conscious in it because something scared me. And I'll be like, nah, this is not real. And I'll be back into space. And then I'll be like, let me go see what my mother's doing. I doze off and I was there. I stopped laughing now, like, nah, this is incredible. And all of this, I'm still asleep. I could just hear my TV, people going around, but I'm still in a half sleep, half awake mode. And so that's the best time to astral remote view. I don't want to say astral project. I wouldn't consider that astral projecting. I consider that remote viewing. That's how remote viewers work. It's like a half sleep, half wake state. Well, when you astral project, you all the way awake. Astral projection is really supposed to be that type of method. So a lot of us do remote viewing and consider it astral projection. Like, say you're going into time periods, different times, that's remote viewing. Most of it be, well, it's deeper than that. I'm not going to say what I was about to say. All right, so let's get back to the point now. So now, once you're being able to be aware that you could do these things, get you some rest to be able to tie it, that you won't fall asleep in your meditations or your astral projections or your remote viewing. And I pretty much cover the fact is that once you clear out all your thoughts and you don't have no thoughts, you don't dream no more. Your dreams is from the food you eat and your thoughts combined. That's what makes dreams. That's all they are. It's like yogis know that if you change your eating habits, you change your dreams. If you don't eat and fast, you don't dream. But for us, we know that the dreamers or the ones who make dreams happen as beings, it's the gods. And once you unite with them, they don't push a dream on you. Pushing a dream onto you is like if you're a military trained soldier and an Iraqi terrorist just entered the room. You jump up like it's a red flag. Nah, I don't dream. This ain't right. Just like if I see normal human beings in my astral projection, red flag. No, this ain't right. I only deal with beings like from Egypt, Thoth, Nubis, creatures looking thing. If I see somebody human, I know that's a demon, that's a thought form. Somebody's pushing something into my Merkaba. And so I got gatekeepers that guard that. Alright, I don't want to get too thrown off the subject. So let's now start. I'm about to start the Tree of Life talk right now? Hell no. This is 19 minutes. Well, let's say we covered the basics about, why the Tree of Life is important right now at the same time. Just to be awake and aware is the key first. You know, I'm pretty sure this is for people who meditate so they will know what it is. But the most important thing is to try to get you some rest. Getting rest will make your meditations more, you'll be more aware, and then you could concentrate and you will stay awake. Now, we're going to talk about, I got 10 minutes before, I like to keep it 30 minutes. I'm going to say now with the tree of life, let's start that. You know, you hear about it in the garden, they describe it as a tree of good and bad. It's the same thing. You see, the tree of life was called the Kalipop. It's also the tree of good and bad. It's this tree that we're talking about is the Caduceus, which symbolizes your spine. Your spine is your vertebrae. There is, you know, a lot of us, let me clear up something. We don't have a skull. A skull is our first spine. It's a spine. It definitely is a spine that just elongated into what we consider to be a skull. But the spines, you yourself is all like that entity you see that's like an octopus or just a head with a long spine. That's who you truly are. Some funny looking thing like that, like a jellyfish, seahorse looking thing. So you're about the spine. Everything else now is a conduit that connects like nerves and tissues and bones to make the spine a living being. So the spine we're talking about, it has two sides to it. It is the tree. That's the tree of life. And one side of it, it goes right side up. That will be the front of you. That's called the day side of the tree. And the back side of you is called the night side of the tree. The night side of the tree is upside down. Hello, how you doing? Oh, what's up, Shima? The night side of the tree is upside down. Now being that the tree is upside down, the lessons is opposites from the day side of the tree. So the day side of the tree is a blind state. A blind state meaning that we have the light, it's illuminated. It's daytime, we see, it's good, we're happy, there's nothing wrong. We go about life doing what we have to do, eat, survive. But now at 5 o'clock, the night side of the tree starts to come in. For you to understand the theory of the night side of the tree, you have to go to a time before electricity was created. You know, and when there was no electricity, people used to have to use their candles to stay inside their house. Sorry about that. And being that everywhere outside is dark, the wilderness is dark, the streets is dark, everywhere is dark, people used to be afraid of the darkness. You know, this is when animals that's nocturnal come out back in the day. So the night side not just rendered fear to the human being because of what would occur during the night hours of the night beasts and creatures that come out, it also rendered them to have to go inwards and learn lessons. So when we're talking about the night side of the tree, these is the same gods, but now at night when the magnetic field of the sun changes, their energy it go from malevolent to benevolent. So, from benevolent to malevolent. So what happens is now they become your teachers by lessons, by teaching you hard lessons, your attackers now. So when you meditating after 5, you're dealing with the night side of the tree. And the night side of the tree don't start like at the top of your head. That's the bottom now. The top of the night side of the tree is your anus. It's flipped upside down. And so you're taking a journey back now from the crown all the way down to the root as you go up. You understand? This is the world of Set and all the chaos gods. It's all chaos on the night side of the tree. Look to Bobby Hemmett and learn about chaos gods, but use these instructions so you can understand how it works. So now with the night side after 5 o'clock, their lessons will teach you about sex, about hate, about love. You'll be fighting all types of beings. The beings look mean, scary. That's how the night side of the tree is. But all human beings from day one had this ability. In the daytime they had the teachings of the sun god, and at nighttime they had the teachings of the dark night god, the dark abyss. And so that's our two sides of the day side of the tree and the night side of the tree, and its effects and influences on you. It actually grows you and teaches you. And so what wind up happening now? We wind up losing the whole concept of excuse me, night and day because of religion. Religion played a very important role in actually covering up the meaning of the tree of good and bad or whatever. And you see, if you ate from this tree, you will be a God, just like God. And so that's the facts of life. It's to you want to be an immortal, do you want to be a God? It's still the same thing. But the way the Bible interpreted, they try to make it seem like, of course, don't touch that tree. But you would think it's a real fruit, but it's not a real fruit. It's about your kundalini. Your kundalini is the tree of knowledge. When the serpent comes, which is kundalini, all of a sudden they have knowledge. That's kundalini. I'm only keeping it there because I could break it into different energies, but they don't show you two snakes like I could say Shakti um, and the Pingala and Ida and all that. No, they had one snake. So that's Kundalini herself with the tree to the spine that came down and it activated. The fruit was the sex. They had sex and it wound up making Eve activate, which then caused Adam to activate. It's a simple, very simple metaphysics if you understand it. Getting kicked out the garden is the same as you waking up. You're seeing the truth now. The world is not what no Santa Claus and what they make it out to be. The world is rough and mean and wicked. And if you don't know how to survive, you don't understand your soul. Your soul is like the ugliest, meanest looking creature. It's been surviving from eternity. We're talking a number of years that is unlimited right now, that this one man has been living through pain. Every time pain, his own pleasures, his own karma attacking him, and he can't die. He has to come back and do it again and do it again until he get it right. And so you got to understand the soul is a beast and it's here to save you. And it only cares about its own self and its own preservation. So you got to understand this is the night side of the tree lessons as reminders to the soul. They're not there to teach. They're here to remind the soul what it has to do. With the soul being trapped in your body, the body that want only pleasures, want, cable TV, want to get a job and support your kids. Your soul don't have nothing to do with these things because those is karmas you put on yourself and picked up, and the government implemented democratics and a republican system and an educational system that got you chasing these false domesticated form of living that is not conduit with nature. Those